So the National Enquirer is a tabloid rag. And of course, they have a long history of running literal fake news. So it's no surprise that this outlet actually actively supported Donald Trump in 2016. In fact, they ran positive stories on President Trump, or then candidate Trump, and then ran negative stories against Hillary Clinton. Now, here's the thing. CEO of AMI, American Media Incorporated, David Pecker, is a personal friend of Donald Trump with an unfortunate name. Was is a key word. According to the Associated Press, prosecutors just granted immunity for Mr. Pecker, potentially laying bare his efforts to protect his longtime friend, Donald Trump. Uh-oh. So now let's get into those efforts. Well, for one, as I said before, running positive news stories about Donald Trump and negative news stories about Hillary Clinton. Hey, you know what? That's fine, right? Everybody has an opinion. The National Enquirer has an opinion. They can do whatever they want, right? But it wasn't just that. It turns out there's actually far more kinds of, or different kinds of support that AMI, Pecker, the National Enquirer did for Donald Trump. Now, earlier this week, Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, pleaded guilty to campaign finance violations that alleged that he, Trump, and the tabloid were involved in buying the silence of a porn actress and a Playboy model who alleged affairs with President Trump. So this is a practice called catch and kill. Now, they paid Karen McDougal, a Playboy model, about $150,000 for her story, which they then buried. And in this case, actually, may have literally buried. Now, the same, of course, Stormy Daniels, $130,000, right? Now, the AP, oh, and by the way, Cohen actually ended up paying that at the direction of then candidate Donald Trump. That's what we found out from Cohen. Now, the AP is reporting that these arrangements were actually kept in a literal safe. Now, I wonder why they would do that. That's very, very curious. Now, 5 people familiar with the National Enquirer's parent company, American Media Inc., who spoke to the AP on the condition of anonymity because they signed non-disclosure agreements, said the safe was actually a great source of power for Mr. Pecker. Oh, unsurprising. Of course, he's got to have a safe with all your dirty secrets so he can kind of whip it around and rub it in your face. Oh, that's so bad. So basically meaning he has dirt on everybody he's ever bought a story about. This is the kind of person that called himself a friend to Donald Trump. This is the kind of people that surround Donald Trump. No. I hired the best people. I surround myself with the best people. Now, the Trump records were stored alongside similar documents pertaining to other celebrities' catch and kill deals. So, again, why would you do that? Because it gives you power. In which exclusive rights to people's stories were bought with no intention of publishing to keep them out of the news. By keeping celebrities' embarrassing secrets, the company was able to ingratiate itself with them and ask for favors in return. That's the kind of company David Pecker ran. It is the most despicable industry imaginable. Jerry George, a longtime Enquirer reporter who left the publication back in 2013, said the practice of catch and kill took root at the Enquirer under Pecker. Though George had no personal knowledge of Trump-specific catch and kills, he said that AMI generally paid hush money only if it believed it had something to gain. George said, quote, I did this for you. Now what can you do for me? They always got something in return. Look, do you think they'd pay hundreds of dollars for a story? I'm sorry, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a story that they didn't personally profit off of? Now, look, the reporters that were working there, they actually hated that. They're like, no, we got this story so that we can run it, so that we can provide the juicy details and get the get people buying the publication, and we get notoriety and all that stuff. Look, we broke this story. We want it to be out there. AMI and Pecker say, absolutely not. Here's what we're going to do. Instead, we're going to keep this buried, and then we're going to basically hold it over their heads. Hey, who's got the power? I do. Kind of a dick move, if you ask me. But, look, I guess from a business sense, getting favors from celebrities, or in this case, even politicians, it's not a bad trade-off. In fact, that's a pretty good trade-off. And here we have Pecker with a safe full of Donald Trump's secrets. And now those secrets, with this immunity deal, might come to light. Uh-oh, there's more. After the Wall Street Journal initially published the first details of Playboy model Karen McDougal's catch and kill deal, shortly before the 2016 election, those assets had become a liability. So that entire safe, they're like, oh my God. Somehow the Wall Street Journal got wind of this story. What are we going to do? They know about the vault. They know about the vault. Well, so here's what they did. Fearful that the documents might be used against American media, Pecker and the company's chief content officer, Dylan Howard, removed them from the safe in the weeks before Trump's inauguration, according to one person directly familiar with the events. It was unclear whether the documents were destroyed or simply removed to a location known to fewer people. Now, you think they would give up all that dirt that they have on celebrities? All that dirt they have on everyone else? No, of course not. No, they've got it, and only Pecker and Dylan Howard know where it is. And guess what? Dylan Howard also got an immunity deal. Weird. Now, here's the thing. AMI and the National Enquirer have had a long history of helping Donald Trump. In fact, court papers in the case, in the Cohen case, say Pecker offered to help deal with negative stories about Trump's relationships with women, among other things, assisting the campaign in identifying such stories so they could be purchased and their publication avoided. The Journal reported Pecker shared with prosecutors details about payments that Cohen said Trump directed in the weeks and months before the election to buy the silence of McDougal and another woman alleging an affair, porn star Stormy Daniels. Now, those, of course, are likely not the only ones. As I said before, there's a lot we don't know. I'm assuming that safe was full of things, full of incredibly interesting details. Now, furthermore, former Enquirer employees who spoke to the AP said that negative stories about Trump were dead on arrival, dating back more than a decade when he starred on NBC's reality show, The Apprentice. So all that time, all those stories, there were more. Have to have been a lot of them. Oh, man. You think it's just Karen McDougal and Stormy Daniels? No, not by a long shot, guys. I would not be surprised if Elliot Broidy, and the Broidy story is fascinating. Broidy paid $1.6 million to a Playboy model for an abortion. Cohen was involved in facilitating that payment, and it is very likely, I think, in my speculation, it wasn't Broidy's kid. It was Donald Trump's. My speculation, but that's what I think about that. And who knows, the truth might be buried in that vault. Wow. You know, I remember fondly the days where a tan suit and putting, what was it, mustard on a hot dog or something was a presidential scandal. A scream or sweating too much on stage, that was a scandal. Now, the word scandal is not even close to describe what we've had during the Trump administration. I mean, I can't keep up with it all. And I guess maybe that's kind of the point. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.